Hola muchachos y muchachas. Thanks for checking out Scotties Hobbies. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear brake pads and rotors and adjust the parking brake on a 99 to 2006 Chevy Silverado, GMC Sierra, 2500, 3500 HD models. This happens to be my dad's truck. We got 180,000 miles out of the rear brakes. That's pretty darn good. Make sure the front wheels are chalked. You don't want the vehicle rolling down the driveway while you're doing this. After you do that, we're going to reach under the hood. We're going to loosen the brake fluid cap reservoir, take it off, just set it right on top so no dust or dirt gets inside there while you're doing this. The reason why you take this cap off is because when you're compressing the pistons back into the caliper later on in this video, you don't want the fluid to blow any seals or gaskets. If it needs to overflow out of the reservoir, it has somewhere to escape. You might want to put a towel or something on the ground below the brake fluid reservoir, just in case you do end up pushing some brake fluid out of that reservoir, you have something to absorb it. After you take that cap off, we're going to go ahead, go to the back of the vehicle and take the wheel off. Obviously the vehicle is already jacked up. I'm using a jack stand so the vehicle doesn't fall while I'm doing this job. Better safe than sorry again. So use a jack stand if you have one. When you remove that wheel, set it off to the side, make sure it's not in your way. And before we go too far, when you go through this video or while you're watching this video, if you need any parts or tools that are shown in the video, look for links in the description below to purchase those tools and parts. It helps me out, and obviously it'll help you out. I'll give you all the links that you need to get this job done. This video is about 20 minutes long, but it will give you all the knowledge that you need to perform this brake job at home, in your driveway, wherever you like to do it actually. After you get that wheel off, we're going to take a look at the brake caliper, the rotor, just look at it, just see what you're going to be working with. Look at the space that you have on that top side of that caliper between the leaf spring and the caliper. That is the weirdest part about this job, or the hardest part about this job. Usually I like to take the caliper off of the brake bracket and take them off separately, but in this case, I'm going to remove everything as one assembly. Make sure you have all the tools that you're going to need. You're going to see that the brake caliper bracket bolts, they're going to be 18mm 6-point sockets you're going to need. And to remove the caliper off the bracket, we're using a T55 Torx. You have all the tools, you have everything set aside, you have the brake pads, you have the rotors, you have everything. So let's keep going. Oh yeah, when you buy the brake pads, make sure they come with a hardware kit. That is a must. I always prefer to replace those. I never like to reuse old hardware. So make sure you replace the hardware as you go as well. On the back side, the top bolt between the leaf spring and the caliper is going to be the hardest one to get to. I actually use a 3/8 socket wrench and a 6-point 18mm socket, and it worked just fine in my case. I use my dead blow hammer to loosen up that bolt, to get it loose enough to where I could take it off with my actual strength. You might be able to use a breaker bar if you have one small enough to fit in the wheel well, but you're very limited in space when you're working with top caliper bolt itself. So like again, I said, I like to remove the whole assembly as one, and you'll see as we go. After we get that top caliper bracket bolt loosened up, just leave it in there so when you loosen the bottom one, it doesn't move around. On the bottom side, I was actually able to use my gun, using the Milwaukee tools. It makes it so much faster. Go up there, remove that top caliper bracket bolt out, boom, the whole caliper and bracket comes off. If it doesn't slide off, you might need to use a pry bar or a flathead screwdriver to just push those pistons in a little bit, but it should be pretty easy. Using the T55 Torx bit on the gun, I'm going to remove the slider pins out of the caliper bracket and just set them off to the side. When you remove the caliper bracket away from the caliper itself, take note of where the brake pads were located. You want to make sure that you get the wear indicator in the same location when you reinstall as when you remove it. In this video, the brake pads, that is, fell right out of the caliper, so it was kind of hard to make sure where they were at, but be a little bit careful with yours. So take note of where the brake wear indicator was located. Now that you have the brake pads out, we're going to use those old brake pads to compress the pistons back into the caliper. There's a couple different types of caliper compression tools that you could use. In this video, I used this caliper compression tool right here. Hopefully you can see it. Black on black doesn't work too well, but this is the one that I used. I love this thing. It's super easy, super convenient. You might want to use a different style one, such as this one, and it'll work just fine. And you can see my dad's helping me film this video, so you might not get the best view, but you're going to understand what's going on. Also, if you have a caliper compression tool set, or kit set I should say, this would work just fine. It has everything you need inside as well. Now that you got your caliper compression tool ready, you want to get this, the one I used, squeeze it between the caliper and the brake pads, and you want to compress those pistons all the way back into the caliper as far as possible. While you're doing this, take note or look at the boots on the pistons in the caliper. If those boots are ripped, cracked, they look frayed, anything like that, go ahead and replace the caliper at this time. If you do end up replacing the caliper, make sure you check the video library. I have a ton of videos on brakes. Some of those include replacing calipers. It's pretty much all the same on most calipers. How to bleed them, how to install the caliper, everything. After you get the caliper pistons completely compressed, you want to set that caliper up on the leaf spring or somewhere where it's not hanging by the brake line or the brake hose. You don't want to cause any damage, make your job even harder. I've never had a brake line break from anything hanging, but you don't want to be the first. I don't want to hear a comment saying, oh, it happened to me. Well, actually, if it did, let me know below too. After you get the caliper completely compressed, go ahead and pop that rotor off. Set the rotor off to the side. You might want to match up your old one and new one before you set it up, put them on. But just set off to the side. Now what we're going to do, take a look at the brake shoes, the parking brake shoes. If your parking brake shoes are good, like they are in this video or on this vehicle, we're going to go ahead and adjust the shoes out. That's going to make it so that there's less space or less movement for them to make contact on the inside of the rotor to set the parking brake. You'll see there's a little star on the bottom side of the brake shoes. You're going to twist that to push them out or pull them in. Obviously, or most of the time, you're going to end up pushing them out a little bit more. What I like to do is turn that star a little bit and then put the Rothon to the axle, twist it a little. Obviously, it's not going to be able to turn because you're attached to the axle, attached to the transmission. It's not going to turn. But I'm going to slap it on there, just see if I feel a little bit of friction on the shoes. If I don't, adjust a little bit more, slap the rotor on, just feel it. Then finally, when I feel there's a little bit of friction on there, I know it's properly adjusted, or I hope it's properly adjusted. Now that the brake pads or the brake shoes are adjusted on the parking brake, let's go ahead and clean the new rotor off. You might have a little bit of gunk or a little bit of stuff from production or sitting on the shelf just left on the rotor. So let's spray that off with some brake clean. After you spray the brake clean on it, wipe it off with a towel. Just make sure you're working with a nice clean surface on the rotor. Install that rotor onto the hub. And what I like to do is use one lug nut to hold the brake rotor in place so it's not wobbling around. It makes it easier for everything to reassemble onto the rotor when you put the pads and the caliper on. All my brake jobs, I like to use one lug nut on that rotor just to hold it in place. Just makes it a little bit easier for you. Now that we have the rotor on held in place, go ahead and grab the brake caliper bracket. We're going to clean this bracket out really good. Get all the gunk out of the bracket itself with the slider pin, slide it in and out. You don't want any old grease in there. You don't want anything to cause the slider pins to not be able to slide in and out later on when you're pressing on the brake. So these need to be really clean. I'm using a brush. It's a stiff bristle or a strong bristle brush attached to my drill. So I spray some brake clean in there, I get that drill with the brush on it, and I'll ream out the inside. It doesn't really ream, but it cleans out everything really, really good. Spray some more brake clean in there, set it off to the side, let it completely dry out before I put some new grease in there. But make sure everything is all cleaned out. After you get the brake caliper slider pin holes cleaned out, we're gonna clean off the slider pins themselves and lube them up. I use some silicone, it's not silicone, this is some ceramic grease. This is the new stuff I've been using. I really, really like this stuff. A little lube goes a long way. You don't need to slap too much on there. It works really, really good. There will be links in the description for that as well. So make sure the slider pins move in and out. I like to just jam them in and out a few times. Make sure there's nothing that is hampering them moving in and out. If there is, clean them both out, the slider pin holes and the slider pins. Just make sure that they can slide in and out super, super freely. You don't want these to be hampered in any way. I think I might have said that already. So it might be pretty important. So make sure you take note of this. Pretty important step to this whole process. Make sure everything's cleaned off. After you get the slider pins all cleaned out, lubed up, they're ready to be installed. Let's go ahead and install the new hardware kit. Pop off the old hardware, and where the new hardware is going to meet the actual brake caliper bracket, get a wire brush, clean off all that brake dust and road grime. So when you put the new caliper bracket set on, they sit nice and flush. Again, you don't want the brake pads to be hampered when they move in and out of the brake caliper. When you press on the brakes themselves, it'll squeeze, and when you let off, it'll let those pads just slide out just a little bit. You don't want those to be jammed in any way, so you want to make sure that the brake caliper hardware set is nice and flush in the caliper bracket itself. Install both sides of that brake caliper hardware set on the top and the bottom of the caliper bracket, and let's get ready to install everything as one set. Have I told you to like, subscribe, and share yet? Well, do so if you haven't done so yet. And again, Links in the description below to purchase all the parts and tools that we're using in this video. We're going to load the brake pads in the same fashion as you remove them, so that this is where it was important to take note of where the wear indicator was at when you removed everything. You got to make sure the wear indicator is in the same location. We're going to load the new brake pads into the caliper bracket, and we're going to put the caliper over those brake pads and assemble the caliper and bracket together. With the brake pads installed into the caliper bracket, the slider pins are all properly lubed up. Everything is ready to be put onto the vehicle. Now I'm going to grab the brake caliper itself, take the slider pins out of the caliper that I lubed up, set the caliper over the brake pads onto the bracket, and slide the slider pins through the caliper into the caliper bracket and tighten them down. I used my gun just to snug them up. I didn't go really tight because we're going to tighten these down to proper torque specifications. You might be wondering where I get my proper torque specifications from, and I use the Motor Guide book. This book lets me know a ton of brake specifications on many vehicles, and if you think yours might be different, comment below, shoot me a text with your make, model of your vehicle, and I will let you know. I snugged up these bolts using my gun first, and then tightened them up with the torque wrench. How did I tighten them up before I put them on? I was able to jam the actual caliper assembly between the leaf spring and the frame, and that gave me enough leverage to tighten everything up. 31 foot-pounds using the T55 on the caliper to bracket bolt. So not too hard, pretty easy to do. Now with the slider pins all properly torqued down, I guess you could say, to proper torque specifications, I'm gonna put the caliper assembly over the rotor, and I'm gonna put the top caliper bracket bolt in, obviously the top, just put it in there, snug it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go behind, and I'm gonna install the bottom caliper bracket bolt. If you have a little bit of problems putting the brake pads over that rotor, you might want to slide them out a little bit, just pull them open to slide it over the rotor. I'll just start that top bolt a little bit, and I'll go down to the bottom and tighten the bottom one up first. The proper torque specifications on the caliper bracket to hub assembly or to axle is going to be, let's see, 148 foot-pounds. So 148 foot-pounds of torque going on the caliper to bracket bolts. Nope. 148 foot-pounds are on the bracket bolts to the actual vehicle. That's pretty hard. It's really tight, I should say. That's why you might need to use a breaker bar to loosen these up when you're doing the disassembly process. I used a 1/2-inch torque wrench to tighten these up to 148 foot-pounds. One click, that's what you get, and you go on your way. Now that top caliper bracket bolt, if you have a smaller torque wrench or a thinner torque wrench or a really shallow 18mm socket, you might want to torque down the upper bolt also. I ended up just using a breaker bar to tighten everything down and making sure it was nice and tight, and pray that everything was nice and tight. I didn't have a shallow enough socket to fit on the torque wrench to fit inside there to get all torqued down. So let's pray it hasn't had any issues yet, that upper bolt is nice and tight. Hopefully you could fit a torque wrench in there. After you get all these tightened up, everything is nice and snug. You don't think you're gonna have any problems. If you tightened everything up with proper torque specifications, you won't have a problem. I use that breaker bar again. Everything's tightened up, you're ready to go. Before you go too far, you're gonna go up to the front of the vehicle, you're gonna pump the brakes, make sure you get a nice firm pedal, and make sure you have no leaks or anything. And also, if you follow this brake job procedure, you do not need to bleed the brakes. You don't need to bleed the brakes at all because you did not open the brake system. So you do not need to bleed the brakes using following my procedure. Also, make sure your parking brake is nice and stiff. Just in case you need to go back and adjust it, you could pull that rotor off and adjust it out a little bit more. After you get that nice, firm, stiff pedal, your parking brake works good. You're gonna go up to the brake fluid reservoir, top it off if you need to, and go put that rear wheel on. That's pretty much it. Hopefully you stuck through this whole video, almost 20-minute video, and if you did, I really appreciate it. Comment below and let me know if this video helped you out on your vehicle. What was the year, make, model of the vehicle that it did help you on? Make sure you look for links in the description below to purchase the parts and tools that we used in this video. And also, I have a ton of videos on a ton of different cars and some family fun videos, so make sure you check out the video library right after you check out this video. Maybe one of these videos right here will help you out. Thanks for checking out Scotties Hobbies. I will see you guys on the next hopefully helpful video.